guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm excited because I want to share with you my first what's for dinner. I want to show you all the meals that I made for my family for the entire week based off of the ingredients from my last grocery haul. And if you haven't seen that video, I'll link it above. And I wanted to challenge myself a little bit by making meals this week that are not only one, inexpensive, but two, healthy for you. And so I decided that since the most expensive items in the supermarket are usually meat and chicken, that I would make a whole week's worth of meals that are all meatless. And that way I can take my ingredients and stretch them and hopefully have that haul last me 2 weeks, which will save me even more money. So I'm excited to share these meals with you. And of course, it wouldn't be one of my videos if I wasn't sharing some time and money saving tips along the way. So if you like these kinds of videos, don't forget to click subscribe and the bell so that you're notified every time I post, which are Saturday mornings at 11. Anyway, let me show you what I did. For my first meal, I'm going to be making stuffed peppers. It is definitely a family favorite. If you haven't seen my video on how I make my stuffed peppers, I'll link it above. One of the things that I love about this recipe is that I can take some of the leftovers in my fridge and instead of simply reheating them, I can actually roll them into this recipe, which will not only save me money because it helps me use every ounce of food that I have, but also saves me time because most of the ingredients are already done. Here I have some brown rice that I cooked earlier this week. I also have some leftover marinara sauce in the fridge, a large onion that I chopped up and divided into 2 portions. I'm placing half of it in that glass container for a future recipe. I had a green pepper in the fridge that had seen better days. So instead of just throwing it away, I cut off that piece that looked a little questionable and chopped up the rest and sauteed it with the other half of that onion and some garlic. And now, not only did I save money by not throwing that pepper away, but I'm adding an extra veggie to the dish, which makes it even healthier. So I combine those ingredients with some ricotta cheese, 1 egg, and some parsley, and I mix it together, and that's the mixture that I'm using to stuff those peppers. And here's another tip. This is the leftover stuffed pepper mixture. Instead of just throwing it away, I'm putting it in a freezer bag, laying it flat, taking out all the air before I seal it, and I'm labeling it. And you always want to label everything before you put it in the freezer because you don't want to find something 6 months from now and think, what is that? So anyway, so I've labeled it. I'm going to place it in the freezer and I'm going to lay it flat so it freezes flat. And then I'm going to be able to stack it like a book so it doesn't take up room in the freezer. I haven't wasted anything. And next time I'm making stuffed peppers, I can actually save on ingredients because I've got this mixture ready. And here's the finished product. Don't they look delicious? I was able to make 2 trays and still have that leftover mixture for the next time. And now not only will we have a healthy and delicious dinner that's meatless, but also I'll have leftovers for tomorrow's lunch. And to make it even healthier, I served it alongside my sauteed kale recipe. And if you haven't seen that video, I'll link it above. But my family, they went crazy for this meal. And I was so happy because I know I'm serving them something healthy and they had no idea that it was meatless. They didn't even miss it. My next recipe is a Spanish egg tortilla. You're gonna need 4 eggs, a splash of milk, a pat of butter, half of a large onion or 1 small onion, 2 minced garlic cloves, 1 large or 2 small potatoes, olive oil, salt, and pepper. Instead of using 1 large or 2 small potatoes, I had these fingerling potatoes in my pantry that, as you can tell, I had to use up pretty quickly. So I gave them a really good scrub and I chopped them into large wedges. And have you guys ever seen a purple potato? Please let me know in the comment section down below. I was so curious to try it out and it ended up tasting the mixture of a potato and a beet. And I don't know if you like beets, but my husband and I really do. And even my little Emily, who's only 5, was going crazy for them. So they were really good. And they're all organic, so it's even better for us. But anyway, so I'm going to take these potatoes and I'm going to put them in a bowl and drizzle olive oil, salt, and pepper on top. And the reason why I use a bowl, which I know it's one more thing you have to wash, But you save on olive oil because if you put it on a cookie sheet and then you drizzle the olive oil on top, you end up spending more oil, which not only is that more calories for you and your family, but I'm sorry, olive oil is really expensive. So I cut back and that way I also save money. And I put the tray in the oven at 375 degrees for about 20 minutes. And look how great they came out. And the rest of these potatoes are going to make a yummy snack. And now I'm going to take that half of the onion that I diced yesterday and I'm going to saute it in a pan with some butter and my minced garlic. And while that's cooking, I'm going to take the 4 eggs and I'm going to place them in a bowl with a splash of milk and salt and pepper and give them a good whisk. And now to the pan with the garlic and onions, I'm going to add the eggs and potatoes. And for the kids, I am adding a little sprinkle of mozzarella cheese, but for me and my husband, we don't eat that. And I'm going to cook it on the stovetop for about 2 minutes and then place it in the oven for 8 minutes. And look how great it comes out. It is so delicious. I hope you try it and let me know in the comment section down below if you love it as much as we do. Our next dinner was pizza. One time-saving tip that I've shared in the past is that I always plan one meal with ingredients that I have on hand that I can make in a snap. And today was definitely that day. We were running around like crazy and it was so hectic and late. So I thought, you know what? I'm gonna make a pizza. So I grabbed the dough from the fridge, the can of sauce from the pantry, and the block of cheese in the fridge. And I put it together and it came out delicious to the point where when I went to go grab my camera to take a picture of the pizza pie, all that was left for me was this one slice. Everybody went crazy. And it came out so yummy. Tonight I made pineapple fried rice. This recipe makes 2 to 4 servings. You'll need 2 cups of rice, 2 diced carrots, 1.5 cups of diced pineapples, 1 small diced onion, 2 eggs, 1 lime, a handful of cilantro, 2 minced garlic cloves, 2 tablespoons of ground ginger, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, oil, salt, and pepper. So tonight for dinner, I'm trying something completely new and I'm so excited about it. I saw a recipe on Pinterest and of course I tweaked it, but I will leave the recipe that I found down below. So it did not call for carrots, but I was like, yeah, I have a few carrots in the fridge that have seen a better day, so I'm gonna use them up. So I'm adding 3 carrots to it. Now this recipe, the rest of the ingredients, I doubled because it only called for 2 cups of cooked brown rice. And since the rice is the star of the show, I need more than that to feed my family of 5. So I'm doubling everything. So it called for green onions, but I don't have any. So I'm adding a whole large red onion. And it also didn't call for some ginger, but I don't know about you, but whenever I hear Thai food, I always think of garlic and ginger. So I'm gonna add a little bit of ground ginger. It calls for 1 lime, but these limes are so tiny. And because I'm doubling the recipe, I thought, let me just use 2 of them. And my cilantro has seen a better day, but honestly, that has lasted in my fridge for 3 weeks and it's still green and I can still use it. And if you haven't seen my video on how to make your groceries last longer, I'll tag it above and link it down below. It also calls for some pineapple, and since I'm doubling the recipe, I have 2 large cans of pineapple. I have some low sodium soy sauce and 4 eggs that I'm gonna beat and put some salt and pepper on. And other than the rice, these are the rest of the ingredients. So let's get started. Now this meal comes together rather quickly, so I prepped everything ahead of time. I diced the carrots, the pineapple, the onions, the garlic, and I took my 4 eggs and placed them in a bowl, gave them a good whisk with some salt and pepper. To this large pan, I'm heating up 2 tablespoons of olive oil under high heat. And in that pan in the back, I'm cooking a little bit of extra rice because I realized that with my leftovers, I'm a little short. So now I'm going to add the eggs to this hot pan and I'm going to give it a good scramble. And you'll see how fast these eggs come together. Now that the eggs are fully cooked, I'm going to remove them from the pan and put them on this plate, and then put the pan back on the stove and heat up another 2 tablespoons of oil. To the hot pan, first we're going to add the pineapples and let them cook for about 3 to 4 minutes while stirring frequently to let their sugars caramelize. Now to the pan, add the diced carrots and give them a good stir and let them cook for about 2 to 3 minutes. Now add the onions to the pan and give it a good stir and let them cook down for about 2 to 3 minutes. Now add the garlic, and because the pan is hot, make sure to stir frequently for just about a minute. That garlic is going to cook so quickly so that it doesn't burn. And now I add the ground ginger. And do you guys like to stir your spices in for a minute every time you add it to heat them up? I swear it changes the flavor of the recipes because those spices have been sitting in that jar for so long, and just the fact that you're giving them a moment to heat up, I really feel like it adds something to every recipe. Let me know in the comment section down below if you guys agree. Now it's time to mix in your rice. Next, mix in your scrambled eggs. And now add the soy sauce. Now top the rice with the lime juice. Last but not least, top it with the torn or chopped cilantro and serve. And look how great it came out. It is definitely a new family favorite. It was so quick and easy to make. You don't miss the meat at all, and everyone loved it. Tonight, I made butternut squash soup. This is my little 5-year-old's favorite recipe. It's so easy to make from scratch and so healthy for you too. If you haven't seen my butternut squash video, I'll link it above. What you're going to need is 1 large and 1 small butternut squash. Tonight I don't have a small one, but I do have a bag of diced butternut squash in the freezer, so I took it out earlier to defrost it. I'm going to use it in this recipe. You're also going to need 3 apples, 4 cups of chicken stock, 1 large garlic clove, 1 white onion, 3 tablespoons of dried thyme, salt and pepper. This recipe comes together so quickly and it's so delicious, and I hope you guys give it a try. My little Emily and I wanted to make a healthy snack. I have seen this recipe float through the internet for so long. They are yogurt bars. All you have to do is put some wax paper down on a cookie sheet, spread your favorite yogurt, and then add any fruit topping. Then you freeze it overnight, and the next day you can break it up and place it in a freezer bag for snacking. We use Greek plain yogurt, bananas, and chocolate chips. The next time I'm going to add a drizzle of honey to sweeten it up because plain Greek yogurt isn't very sweet, but honestly my family ate it up. They loved it even without the honey. And last but certainly not least, tonight for dinner we're having zucchini fritters. For this recipe you'll need 1 large zucchini, 1 small sweet potato, 1 medium carrot, 1/4 of a cup of finely chopped green onion, 3 cloves of garlic, 2 to 3 tablespoons of chopped parsley, half a teaspoon of salt, 1/4 of a teaspoon of ground pepper, 2 large eggs, half a cup of flour, 1/4 of a cup of ground Parmesan cheese, and 1/4 of a cup of olive oil. This recipe makes 4 servings, and since we're a family of 5, I'm doubling this recipe. This way, not only will we have enough for dinner tonight, but hopefully we'll have enough for lunch tomorrow. And here's a tip. Anytime that you have ingredients on hand to double a recipe, I say go for it. You could have it the next day and not have to cook that day. Or what I love doing is placing that second half in an aluminum pan and freezing it for a future dinner when you're having a hectic day, and having that dinner already made eliminates the temptation of ordering food out, which can blow your budget. By having that extra meal ready, you save time and money. First, grate the zucchini and then place it in a kitchen towel and give it a good squeeze to drain all of the liquid, and then place the zucchini in a large bowl. Now shred the sweet potato and the carrot and add them to the bowl. And whenever I'm cooking, there's Molly by my side. And now I'm gonna chop up the green onion and the garlic and add them to the bowl. And look how great this parsley looks. And just like the cilantro earlier this week, that's been in my fridge for over 3 weeks. By knowing how to take care of your groceries to make them last even longer, you save so much money. And now I'm gonna give the parsley a good chop and add it to the bowl along with the rest of the ingredients.
So you need to crack an egg. And you need to do it in the trash.
Don't rub it on your dress, honey.
And make sure you wash your hands.
Very good. Don't I just have the cutest assistant? I love having her in the kitchen with me. And now you're gonna mix all the ingredients together.
And my mother's gonna mix it. How delish!
And now I'm gonna take a cookie sheet and I'm gonna line it with some wax paper so that I can assemble the patties first and then add them to the pan. Heat the oil in a large nonstick pan over medium heat and place the patties in the pan. Once they're golden brown, give them a flip and cook the other side evenly, and then you're done. This was by far our favorite recipe. Even when we doubled it, we barely had enough for lunch the next day, and I served the fritters alongside some steamed broccoli. Well, I hope you liked this video and found it helpful. If you did, please click the like button, share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe and to click on that bell, and follow me on Instagram at the address above. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!